Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'du. To the honorable judges, as well as the teachers and my dear friends. Before we start, let us give our thanks to the great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us endless blessings and mercies to be able to attend this speech in good health and condition. Salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has guided us from the dark era to a much lighter generation. My name is Aretta Nindya Savira from Muhammadiyah 9 Junior High School, and I would like to take this opportunity given to me today to tell you about embryology in an Islamic point of view. Embryology has been mentioned a few times in the Quran, but before we get into that, let me give you a brief explanation about embryology. Embryology is a branch of biology and medicine connected to the studies of embryos and their development. There is a Quran hadith that states that fetal growth and development are categorized into 4 stages, namely nutfah, alaqah, mudghah, and nafkhur, flowing spirit. The hadith that I just told you is proof that the human development in the uterus begins in the form of a nutfah. Modern embryology is a fairly recent development which has its beginnings with the creations of microscopes in the 17th century. However, the concepts of humans being developed in stages was not recognized until much later. But scientists then and most Muslim and non-Muslim scholars did not realize that the Holy Quran and Sunnah had provided a detailed description on the significant events of human development in stages of game-test and conceptions until the full-term pregnancy and delivery or postpartum. Actually, the Holy Quran and Hadith had corrected many superstitions and vague ideas about the human development that were prevailed before. As I mentioned earlier, the Holy Quran has mentioned embryology a few times, but if I wanted to state all of them, that would take up most of my time. So, here are 2 surahs that perfectly embodies embryology. The first one is referenced in Surah Az-Zumar, verse 6, which reads as the following. He created you from one soul, then he made from it its mate, and he produced for you from the glazing livestock 8 mates. He created you in the wombs of your mothers, creation after creation, within 3 veils of darknesses. This is Allah, your Lord. To him belongs dominion. There is no deity except him. So how are you a virgin? This verse indicates the continuation of the embryologic process and the changes from one stage to another. The 3 veils of darkness may be referred to as the anterior abdominal wall, the uterine wall, and the amnochronic membrane. This interpretation seems to be the most logical one in an embryological point of view. With grace and elegance, it has been described in the Holy Quran. The second one is detailed in Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 12 to verse 14, which reads as, We, Allah, created man from quintences of clay. We then placed him as a nutfah, drop, in a place of settlement firmly fixed. We then made that drop into an alaqah, a leech-like structure. We then made from that alaqah a mudghah, a tube-like substance. Then we made from that mudghah itsam, skeleton and bones. We then clothed the bones with lamb, muscles, and flesh. And then we caused him to grow and come in being and attain the definitive human form. So blessed be God, the best to create. I must remind you that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was illiterate and had no formal education. Yet, it was through him that most Muslim scholars attained the knowledge about conceptions, morphology, and the various phases of intrauterine life, which modern-day scientists came to know only a few decades back. In conclusion, the Holy Quran contains information about embryology and human development in a comprehensive way. This knowledge came to us in an era where there were no microscopes, and this description is made by a person who is illiterate. Subhanallah. Who knew that the embryology process has been mentioned and hinted in the Holy Quran far longer than the scientists might have found out? Well, it seems like my time here is limited, so please allow me to take my leave. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to tell you about embryology from an Islamic point of view, and I hope you've learned something new today. If I did say anything or do anything wrong, please forgive me. Nun wal qalmi maesturun. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.